If I could pen a garden straight out of a storybook, it may just be the gardens at Milflur. Tucked away on a tight country road in Pennsylvania, where an old grist mill and sawmill once harnessed the power of a winding river, is a garden that seems to have grown not by design alone, but by imagination. Moss-softened stone walls emerge beneath canopies of towering oaks, beech, and hickories. Clematis scramble over weathered tree roots turned upside down like woodland sculptures. A Cabernet-colored Rosa Weichenblau scales ancient stonework, while ferns, hostas, epimediums, and countless woodland treasures settle into every crevice as though they'd quietly chosen these places for themselves. A millstone anchors the history of the building and the place. But this enchanted landscape wasn't always here. For years, this former grist mill and sawmill sat abandoned, slowly surrendering to a sea of planted bamboo and neglect. Then Robert and Barbara Tiffany saw something few others could. Robert, a furniture designer and engineer by trade, spent years convincing Barbara that this forgotten place could become the home they had always dreamed of creating. Together, they patiently cleared the bamboo, embraced the challenges of steep slopes, stony land, and rushing water, and over decades transformed the property into an extraordinary private garden. Today, very little of the planting predates the Tiffany's, save for the magnificent oaks, beeches, and hickories that have stood watch for generations. Everything else has been planted in, a mixture of perennials, annuals, shrubs, and trees, which helps settle the mammoth 10,500 square foot mill into the landscape, giving this garden a real sense of place. I first visited Milflur last year in the late summer months, and this time I've returned in spring to join Barbara once again and see how this remarkable place tells a different story earlier in the season. She threatens the trees with snippers.
Yeah.
So we were here 9 months ago.
It's incredible.
9 months
9
ago.
months ago.
It's almost a year, but we were here in August, late August, and now we are here in spring with Barbara again, and we are checking out her spring garden. Although you invited us back for an April March to see all the spring ephemerals. We missed it, folks, but we're here. We're gonna see some columbine, we have some penstemon, the cornus are in bloom, rhododendrons, some azaleas.
It's been a very, very strange year, and all you can do is just observe. There's nothing you can do about it. But this was a very bizarre year of compression. Things were blooming together that never should bloom together. And April was rampant. May was like, wait a minute, the poppies are blooming and they're supposed to bloom in June.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's been a very strange, compressed year.
Yeah.
This border is a greenhouse grown border, of course, because the tropicals have the color in their leaves,
which are their
when
bright
nothing
sun
else
right now.
does, and,
Yeah.
they're consistent. They're consistent with the color. So we can rely on this to do what it's supposed to do because we're using colored leaves.
Which actually last year, I think the groundhogs had eaten
The
it
ground
down.
has it. Okay. Plantain is something that everybody has in their lawns.
Yes.
And they don't love it. And I have 5 different varieties of bizarre plantain. This is Plantago rupifraga, and it's got this red leaf, and this crazy thing will grow in standing water. It's just the most amazing plant. Now, it has little white specks on it because that's the stuff that we've dumped on it to keep the critters from eating it because they love it too. And I have this collection of these.
It's like a good collard green for them, probably.
It is, yes,
Yeah.
they love it. And
Yeah.
it turns out that Plantago is the single most utilized plant in the entire world for medicinal purposes. And we don't know that. I mean, we look at it. It's ubiquitous in your lawn.
Yeah.
It's ubiquitous in your lawn, but the fact that it has all these medicinal properties, it's just absolutely phenomenal.
Do you think this would ever, get into your lawn? Does it seed into the lawn like other plantains?
It hasn't, but look how enthusiastic it is over here.
Oh yeah, look at that.
And this is where the groundhog, or whatever it is, did the most damage, and he just absolutely decimated these. But look at all the tiny millions of ones that are coming up.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And I can show you another area and another kind of this, of Plantago, another one that is just, I don't know why, they just make me giggle. I love them. I just love them.
Probably
but not on the lawn, not so much.
It's such a plant that, is so ubiquitous that you would not look at from any horticultural value.
But would you look at that big, fat red leaf?
And you found a ruffled red leaf that looks horticulturally interesting.
Yeah, interesting.
Now this clematis was actually, I think, in bloom the last time I saw this here, so it must be a rebloomer of sorts.
Well, it's just, but this is the weird thing that what I was saying was things are blooming so early.
Yeah.
And so it's such a bizarre a situation where they are blooming that early.
The funny thing is I noticed that you have this one and then you have some of these ones that want to grow straight again.
Well, we'll have to discuss that. The tree and I will have a little conversation, and I will have a snippers in my hand.
She threatens the trees with snippers. Black iris, the purple black iris. I mean, wow, that is just, and this looks like a scabiosa, the really red,
Isn't that amazing?
burgundy.
Yeah.
It's so huge.
The thing that's I love black plants. I love weird, of course, we've already discussed that there really isn't any such thing as a black, truly black. I mean, look at that, Nicotiana, look at that, pretty dark. And I'm waiting to plant these because shortly we'll have the poppies. We're waiting to see what the poppies are going to do. But after the poppies and the columbine are gone, then there's sort of nothing here. So I'm waiting to plant these so that hopefully they'll fluff up. There are 3 roses in here called black baccarat, and they're dark red. Nothing's really black.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Well, when you were mentioning the Aquilegia, the columbine, that is a perennial, right? So
yes.
Then the Nicotiana you'll have to plant year over year because is that an annual here?
It comes out of the greenhouse.
Yeah.
We pot them up in the greenhouse.
Okay.
But you can pot them up on a windowsill too. And you're sort of at the mercy of what plants decide to do.
Well, I think that's what gardening can be, somewhat spontaneous. And yeah, it was interesting this year because for us, we were mowing our lawn really early, but then trees were just leafing out last week.
Yeah.
When did leaves leaf out here?
About 2 weeks ago, and it was very, very worrisome because things were very frail, very, very fragile, and there's nothing you can do. You just pray a lot.
Yeah.
So this is lush garden weeping, and somebody said to me there are no weeping dogwoods, and I said, well, I have a couple, so don't tell them that they're not here. This is lush garden weeping, and then I have Elizabeth lush garden over there, and I think they're the same tree. Just 2 people put them together onto the marketplace at the same time. Things are not as floriferous as they have been in the past. That's another thing that I've seen. And then some things.
Oh,
look,
I missed this on my first walk through.
Isn't that gorgeous?
Wow.
I mean, think about a thing that does that.
This is is this a podophyllum, right?
Yes, it is.
Wow, look at that. I wonder if it gets a lot of beetles or something that kind of...
I don't know what pollinates it, but beetles would usually things that are on the ground.
That's right, like ground beetles.
Yeah. This is an ajuga, and it was covered. This was one plant.
That's an ajuga?
This season.
It looks like urticaceous in a way.
This is an ajuga, and this is the color of the flower, and it was a big sort of full stalk, and that way it was covered with it. Now, in one season, this is what it did. Now, in other people's languages, it could be called wildly invasive. I call it luxurious. This is a luxurious
plant. It seems like it really enjoys shade.
It does enjoy shade, but I do think that we'll be potting it up and hoping that somebody has a nice place for it. But it's kind of interesting to me because I have never seen a ajuga that looked like that.
No.
It is an ajuga.
And it's funny that you have it right here next, I guess, some type of nettle, but it looks very similar.
It does look similar, but it is not.
Yeah. And of course, your beautiful paper bark maple, which...
It's all about texture.
Yeah. The heuchera is throwing out a nice little inflorescence. And your purples are very lovely. The salvias, the clematis, as I was coming through with the sunlight through them, were just really beautiful. And the seed heads do not disappoint either.
So did you see this little mini thalictrum down in there?
Yes, the little
Is that
tiny
adorable?
one. Right in there.
It's so darling. This thalictrum will get to be 8 feet tall.
This one right here.
This one right there will get to be 8 feet tall and have a little tiny purple flower on the top of it. Somehow or other, it's very gratifying. But my heart is in that little tiny, tiny, tiny one. The wisteria is a Japanese wisteria.
It looks much tinier.
It's
compact.
tiny.
Yeah.
And this is the first year it has bloomed.
How long have you had it? Because normally around the 10th year, the wisteria starts to bloom.
Didn't know that.
Yeah. We had a wisteria, didn't bloom the first 2 years. I didn't plant it, so we didn't know how old it was. And then last year, it just bloomed like crazy, and it was just such a surprise. Nice surprise.
So it's sort of funny. Look at the clematis there. Is that
You
yummy?
have so many buds.
Look at what's going to
Yeah.
happen. I was hoping they would be out by now, but oh well.
Well,
And
you
this
have
one's
some
done.
really nice ones.
Yeah, over there.
too.
But
yeah.
this one's finished. I mean, these two are finished, and that was just happening.
This looks like similar to like a Jackmanii or whatever. Nice, beautiful, deep purple. Yeah, they all have.
The purple bed is usually. I mean, usually there's something. Look at the light on that. Is
I
that
know,
pretty?
the iris is.
Yeah.
It's glowing. It's like angelic.
Yeah. So I made a little iris bed up here. This is funny. I think you did photograph the
Violas.
the violet
Yeah, and
steps.
the white ones are blooming right now. I don't know if you saw that. And they are boisterous. They're very
The thing
exuberant.
is this, I didn't know that we would be eaten alive by violets. Who would have thunk it, you know? It's like, really? Yeah, really. I mean, believe it or not, we've been working on this and editing them and cutting them back. And look at it, it's like, where are the steps? The steps are what, 5 feet wide and 3 feet deep, and they're gone. They've just been eaten alive. It's just hysterical. And I've made a little iris bed over there. I had iris here and there and throughout the garden. And it's a funny thing about iris. They're very demanding, but at the same time, if you scatter them around, I think they're so architectural.
They very much are.
Yes, and you have to use them as a piece of architecture as opposed to a plant form. And if you do that, I think it works out better. So we'll see how this works.
So it's almost like a little sculpture.
It's like
in the
that's
bed.
a little sculpture garden, and I mean for the iris to be as, you know, part of the stone construction there. And then this is so funny because you never know what you're going to get, you know. The lavender roses, I could see I could deadhead 1 or 2 there, but is that a vulgar display or what? It's so funny.
It depends on your definition of vulgar.
Oh, I think that's pretty vulgar. You know, I just love it.
And the bergamot.
Yeah, isn't that?
moving.
And
It's really
I
nice.
find that, you know, I have a lot of pink and I have shocking pink and I have some red, but this one, you know, has my heart because it's just so delicate.
It's pink leaning on lavender.
Yeah, well, we call it the lavender bed, and you know that's a fairly pink rose, you know, with a
Yeah.
little blue in it, and they market it as lavender because there aren't many. There
Yeah,
aren't
I
any.
mean, oftentimes I think it also depends on the light that it gets and at what
and
stage.
how old the bloom is. Yeah, yeah. And this, of course, I planted in the wrong place, but I've talked about moving it, and I
It's
just can't.
You can't.
I
mean,
can't. I just don't.
look at how robust it is.
I'm sure it would be just fine, but I'm not taking a chance.
I love the clematis that have the bell-shaped,
The bell shape.
campanulus.
But this is curly. Look at it.
Yes.
It's really
Is
frilly.
this for Gucci, maybe?
But you can see there's much too much garden here to properly edit and deadhead everything. But oh well.
It's too big of a garden,
It's
Barbara.
too big of a garden.
It's
I
too
do
big of a
try.
garden.
I do try, but
I always say that once your garden gets too big, you have to
you live with it.
be lax around the edges a bit.
And you do live with things in process, you know?
Yes, absolutely.
And look at
the
that.
anthers. They're like a
And
nice
look at how the
purple.
buds are. They're
Yeah.
just so yummy.
And I love the seed heads as
Yeah.
well. This
Yes.
does give a really nice
Yes.
display.
Yeah. This is new, this little stone box here, and we're going to grow lavender climbers and see how that works. What was there was a metasequoia that was very unruly, a weird and maybe not too wonderful metasequoia. So we put that out on the island, and we're going to try this lavender rose business and try to make them, you know, sort of a feature where they'll stand out all on their own.
I love how you turn the trees upside down and use it as a trellis post.
Yeah.
It's a very nice use of it. It's very sculptural.
I think I may put a small band of wire between the two of them so that the rosa will have something to climb on. I always hope that people, when they come in, that they won't be disappointed that I don't have a lot of flowers. And the funny thing is, I don't think that they are. I think that they see things here that they maybe didn't see. This is another piece of the ajuga, which planted itself here. I did not put it here, but it planted itself here, and it's really got a purple flower, and it really belongs over here, but oh well, you know, we'll see what we do. We'll see how that works.
And the Amsonia, which is in bloom right now. This is our blue star. In the fall, it gets a really beautiful yellow shade.
Yellow, very yellow and feathery.
And the ginkgo will probably get yellow too, does it?
Yeah, but this is not as yellow a ginkgo as the ones that are at the far end. I have two clusters of ginkgo because I really love it so much. And so I have some ginkgos over here. And they don't seem to get as yellow as the ones at the far end of the property do, far end of the garden.
Is this Rosa Weichenblau? Do you know?
How would you know that?
Is it?
It is indeed. How would
great.
you know that?
How would I know it? I don't know because I don't know that many roses.
Summer, that is amazing.
She's like one of those mentalists.
I mean, that
She's
is.
a plant mentalist.
I think it's true.
I think because I was looking at it to potentially purchase a Weichenblau in the way that, and I.
So I saw it in South Africa.
You did?
Huh. And it was growing up the side of somebody's house. I'm sure it had been brought over from England. It's not native to South Africa. And I was sure it came from England. And of course, it's just, even though some of the flowers are spent, you can see that it's full of buds. And I just adore it. And Wilschenblau is its own thing and needs no company, thank you very much. You know, and she was sort of insulted that this clematis was reaching over and hugging up. And she was annoyed. And so it's too precious for me to...
Is this something that you have to cut back, or do you just kind of let it go?
I let it go, but I see that it's doing something there that is sort of uncharacteristic.
Right, this thing.
So we'll just take it. We'll nip it.
Yeah, nip that.
She's a dear thing. I can't explain why. Why do you love some plants and, you know, some plants just have your heart, and other plants they're nice plants.
Here we go. This is getting up to the 8-foot mark. You know, right there.
Yes, and of course it's escaped all over the place, but this is where it belongs, and it will have to be removed, but I'm letting it go there, and I'll probably cut it and take it into the house when it does bloom.
For some reason, I do not remember this Espalier
Well,
tree.
this is a funny thing. I had a client whose home I was working on, and her garden needed to be gardened.
Yeah.
It was a totally barren outside, and went to a nursery. She had a chimney breast, like, you know, outside of the house, and then said, well, we need to plant something on this wall so your children understand that, you know, let's do a fruit tree, and so the kids will understand that fruit does not come in little cellophane packages. It actually grows on trees. So we went to the nursery, we bought a tree, and about 2 years later she called me up and she said, what do you do with this thing? I said, I'll get back to you. I have no idea how you espalier and what you do with it. So I ran to the nursery, I put this tree in, and I watched it do its thing. And somebody came and pruned it wrongly for me and cut off on a whole string. There's so much to know and so much to enjoy in horticulture, there's something for everybody. You know, and people are very meticulous and very thoughtful and very careful. Espalier is good for them.
Yes.
You know, not for me.
Yeah.
You know, I like
Or
the
like a
broader
bonsai
picture.
or something.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Well, I don't do bonsai.
Yeah,
because
no, but I'm saying that and Espalier, I feel like
Yes,
are
yes.
interesting bedfellows for
And
those
they're-
types of folks.
And for people who like things very careful and very organized, and very, you know, there's something for everybody. You know, but it's really this has been quite a learning curve, and mostly the animals get the apples. So this is funny because a pear tree. This is a pear
Oh,
tree.
that's a pear tree.
Yes, and when I brought it home, I was trying to get labels on it. It has 3 different labels. I thought that's weird.
Oh, I see. They grafted it.
They grafted
different arms.
It is so antithetical to everything I believe in, you know. And here it is to remind me to,
Yeah.
you know, it's sobering. It's sobering, you know. And I understand the history of espaliering, and it all made sense. And here's this just to remind me that life goes on, whether I like it or not. You know, it's.
Well, you have a stone wall like this. It does beg kind of this treatment.
It does.
Yeah.
It does. It wants something, you know. But sometimes you have to learn what it is it wants, and then sometimes you sort of have to gulp because it's not what you would ordinarily, you know, pick. But this is definitely 3 different trees grafted on one stem.
But that's how it pollinates probably very well. You
And
know,
it does.
because
Look
it's
at
right
the
next-
fruit that's
yeah.
on it, you know. And if I want big fruit, I'm going to have to deal with that. I'll have to take some off. But I don't particularly care whether the fruit's big or little. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter. Absolutely. But they're pear apples. They're
pear
they're
apple.
pear apples. They're nothing that I went for.
Yeah.
You know, and they're all. But this is what they
It might
had.
turn out to be your favorite fruit. You don't know.
Oh, I love pear apples.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, no. The problem is the squirrels usually get to them before I do. And this is another plantago. This is.
It's variegated.
It's a variegated plantago, and I don't know. It just has my heart. I just love it. And the green bed. Now, you wouldn't know if something was blooming in the green bed or not. But did we talk about
Yes.
Rosa chinensis?
And this is interesting because it's kind of blooming again.
It is
sort of,
blooming
yeah.
again. That's.
No, it is, but in August it was blooming.
Yes, and it's blooming now.
Yeah, I know. It's just.
I mean, so she's very prolific. I
Yeah.
mean, is that a face a mother could love? Primula. I mean, you know, I love it. I can't explain why, but I just do. It makes me giggle. But I think because I really love texture. This, which grows out of the center of the leaf.
Which is like what some orchids do as well. Like if I think of a pleurothallus orchid, like they oftentimes will grow out of the leaf.
Well, this is Stemona japonica. And take a look at that. I thought this would be big enough for it this year. Obviously not. Every
No.
year it gets more and more enthusiastic. It's just, to me, it's really interesting. And look at the light coming through the Japanese maple.
It's very beautiful. And this Japanese maple looks so ethereal.
It's so gorgeous with the light coming through it, isn't it? It is. So what do you need flowers for?
You don't need it, especially in the shade. You get to appreciate all the texture.
So look at the texture of this Japanese maple. Isn't that beautiful?
It almost looks like a willow.
Some are this one.
Oh, the
Did you-
Zelkova. Yeah, this is really nice with the variegation.
He's also beautiful from the ice house because you sort of are rarely in a place where you can stably look out and see the tops of trees, and he's very full and luscious.
He's
up
actually quite large. I didn't realize
Yeah.
how tall it is.
And I planted all of them.
It actually works nicely with the white rhododendron right now that's blooming. Yeah, it looks like your rhodies bloomed quite early this year.
Everything bloomed in a way that it is incomprehensible. It's just, you just can't figure it out.
Yeah.
And you know, the madness lies in that direction if you really want to torture yourself. But this is really a beauty, little darling, beautiful thing.
Does this have a scent at all? Oh, well, a bumblebee is really
Well, that's
enjoying
his job, you know?
he's enjoying
He's supposed
it.
to be doing that. But these are late. This is a very late variety. We're now in the Raceway. This is the Raceway that brought the water to the mill. And I was told that the water in this Raceway could have been going 35 miles an hour.
Are you serious?
Yeah,
So-
the pickup is way upstream.
So was this like
The water would come. We built this ramp down going
Right,
down. and
okay.
we bridged the Raceway. There's a pipe in there so the water could come through. But there's no water pickup now. There's just drainage.
And then this is your witch hazel.
And the witch hazel is blooming in February. And this one is the most popular one. It's Helena, Jelena. And I have other witch hazels. They're all up there. And they're nice. They're certainly nice. But this isn't nice. This is like, yeah. Yeah, this is mine. I'm here. You know, it's so funny because look at the size of that thing.
Did you have to shape it for the walk path, or is this
Helena grows like this.
miraculously?
This is the way it grows. And I don't think I've taken much off. I've maybe taken a few things off that might have been dangling.
Yeah, I mean, it's really respected the pathway, which is interesting to see.
And this, of course, is Esk Sunset, Acer Esk Sunset, and I brought this from New Zealand. What we have in the States is this one. It's a little less colorful, but it's pretty good this year. This year it's sort of striving to catch up.
It might be catching up. I mean, I like
It's
the
a little-
new growth. It's a bit more chartreusey.
Well, we'll see what happens, because
Yeah.
it's not supposed to be chartreuse.
Really? I think it'll probably
We'll
even
see.
out.
We'll see what happens, and I think it will. But you can see this one's a little browner, that one's a little redder. They're just not a match set. So much for symmetry in the garden, right?
And you started a lot with your hostas here.
I have a lot of hostas.
You have a lot of hostas.
And I have to tell you something that even with all the other plants that I have, look at this dicentra, look at this with a white. Is that, I mean, to me, that's, I don't think it could be more gorgeous than this. Look at this one. Look at that.
Well, it's nice having it also in a shadier area because it really stands out with the gold foliage.
Tiff started collecting hostas, and I aided and abetted him shamelessly. I have a lot of other plants now, you know? I love the hostas just as much.
Do you think that if you had different conditions, if you were growing in a sunny meadow, say, would you still try to have hostas?
I would
in
plant a
way?
lot of trees.
You'd plant a lot of trees
I
in
don't
order
think
to
a
have.
sunny meadow is me. I think woodland is me. And I've always loved trees. Even as a little girl, I would go out in the woods and dig things up. I never was a sunny meadow kind of girl. You know, I had an opportunity. I could have planted sunny meadow because these trees weren't here.
That's true.
Yeah,
Some of
and
those before pictures
Yeah.
were pretty spare.
I could have done sunny meadow.
Yeah.
It never occurred to me. I mean, I even look at how
This is funky.
they're yellow. That's why they're there, because they're yellow ones, but violets. But look at how they do that.
But
Is
look
that
at the little flower heads. They look
seed
like little
pod.
cotton puffs.
Them is
That's
seed
the
pods.
seed pod. Okay.
They be seed pods.
Oh wow, it's so soft. It's
I
like
have
the
a
foot
lot
of a rabbit.
I have a lot of weird violets in the precious bed. The weird violets are in the precious bed. And with the leaves, they don't look anything like a violet leaf, but the flowers definitely, I'll show them to you. I'll show them to you, they're really cute. I'm sorry, I can't help myself. Housekeeping, you know, we're always doing housekeeping. You know, if I don't get these off, then they sort of get rotty. You know, to me, I see so many shades of green, and it's funny because people come here and they say, one person came here and said, well, where are the flowers? And this guy said, there's no color. And I'm thinking, well, he's clearly not a gardener. And I said, well, I said to him, green is a color. You know? Look at the shades of green and the texture. This is about texture. You know, to me, that's very busy. The cut leaves there and all the different textures. It's a very busy garden for me.
And you have some cattails that have moved in as well.
Yes, they just make
Yeah.
themselves at home.
Now that looks like hydrangea corkifolia, maybe little honey.
Maybe
That-
you're right.
Yeah.
You're
It's that
good,
really
girl.
chartreuse green.
You are a good girl, yep.
I
yep.
first saw that at John O'Brien's nursery.
Yes, that's probably where I got it.
Yeah.
And the beech trees, again, surface roots. So
Yep.
nothing is too enthusiastic there. That's called the fire pit, and I plant it with red and yellow tulips. This is an ongoing project, but I was trying to just get the painted ferns in the roots of the beech, but there's work that has to be done every year.
It seems to have like worked its way into there, though.
Those
the
are
Japanese
carefully,
painted ferns.
meticulously planted there.
Ah.
Yes, but there's other stuff that's growing out, and we've got to get in there and do it. But there are only about 300 or 400 projects around that, you know, who knows when that'll get done. But I've,
All
you
in
know,
due time, Barbara.
these, all of these were have all of these orange flowering azaleas have blossomed already, and they shouldn't have.
Right,
They should
June,
be
July.
blooming. They should just be starting.
Yeah.
They should just be starting, and they're finished. So this was a weird year, and there's nothing to be done. What are you going to do?
You can't do anything.
You can talk to them, but it's not going to make any difference at all. But that's the thing I like to show people. There are 5 Aeschylus in a row here. And when I bought them, they were all the same size. And now the ones that have the larger leaf mass are the bigger ones. And this one, it's not eaten up. This is Aeschylus lacernata, and you can see it's a horse chestnut, a chestnut, right? And when it's really, look at this one. It's not eaten alive. That's it. Well,
I mean,
that
it
would
looks-
actually. This one looks like it's been eaten alive.
Yeah, this
doesn't
one
it?
looks like it's
Yeah,
skeletonized,
yeah.
but
it's
it's not.
look at. This is what they look like. And I like weird. I like the weird and the wonderful. What can I say? But it's so interesting to me because the one with the largest leaf mass is the biggest tree. They
Right.
were all exactly the same size when I bought them.
Right. Well, I guess it can make more food quicker.
It makes more food faster.
Yeah.
That's it. It makes more food. Period.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that stairwell, this
Stairwell
is the
to
stairwell
heaven.
that you challenged Tiff to do.
Yep, it's the stairwell to heaven. It's really done very nicely. Hopefully we'll have a legacy here.
Right.
We're hoping that we can leave the mill behind us, and if the mill is left as a public trust, then the garden will
Go with it.
go with it.
Yeah.
You know, so we're working on that. That's
Yeah.
something that we are working
That's
on.
good. That's good that you're thinking through
Oh.
these things.
Well, there's not a whole lot of time ahead of us, so we better get busy.
Hey,
you know?
you're just getting started.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, absolutely.
And the epimedium coming through here with like a little buttered popcorn kind of color.
Yeah. The epimedium grouping is, I don't want to use the word collection because it's actually, well, I suppose it is, but it's Tiff's. These are all seedlings. Take a look at them.
Oh my goodness.
Look at that. They're seedlings. They just happened here. That funny? And the mother of all seedlings is up here. Look at this one.
This is a beautiful form, by the way, this acer.
Yeah, I mean, but this is what they do, you
Yeah.
know. Take a look. There's a hosta up there.
Oh yeah, right behind that little shrub.
Look at that.
The rhododendron.
Behind that azalea, yeah. It put itself there. I don't have the heart to explain to it that that might not have been my plan. I just am leaving it because anything that's that yummy should certainly be allowed to stay, don't you think?
Absolutely. I mean, I know you have a design eye of where things want to
Yeah,
go,
yeah,
but
yeah.
some of the plants, they grow that well in that place, and you're like, you were meant to be there.
What do you think of 3 giant hosta that space themselves like that over
Yeah.
there? I mean, really?
I know.
You gotta respect it.
Yeah.
You just have to say, okay,
And a
this is
Lanicera.
a honeysuckle, yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't that lovely?
It almost has the same color of that rhododendron.
Yes, but the rhododendron, I mean, they're not supposed to be blooming at the same time.
She's tasting some of the.
Just a little.
It is nice. This is what the hummingbirds get to suckle
It's
on.
just a little. I've had tastier ones. So this is the paradise bed. Look at the light coming through there. Is that gorgeous?
It is very yummy.
You saw these last year. I don't know how
Yes.
well planted up they were.
I
but-
think these are a little bit more floriferous this year.
Well, you know, we just got them all in, and
Yep.
some things. Betsy went to various nurseries And she just bought away, and it was pretty cute because she is not my plant purveyor. I don't know that I would have bought the same plants, but I think it's kind of darling that she jumped in with both feet, and she had such a good time doing it.
Well, the heucheras have really filled out the space,
Yes,
actually. I think
they've
they're the
done
real.
very well, and there is a screaming yellow heuchera.
Yeah.
I just don't have it. I have sort of yellow ones. And this is the metasequoia I planted in 2014, and it's now 2026.
It's huge.
And it was probably from the top of the root ball to the tippy top of it, it might have been 8 feet. But
And that was only in 2014, so this is
but
12
the
years.
tippy top of it was like this. There was just this little stick. you know?
Yeah.
And this is what it has become. And I think it actually has topped itself, so we're going to see what that does too. So this Stewardia, there are 4 different varieties of Stewardia, but I love the way that it petals the ground, you know? I always thought that was very romantic.
Well, it has a kind of rose feel, doesn't it?
It does, it does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If a rose was in tree form. And you said you have a rose bed around here?
Yeah, it's over here. I tried various planting schemes, very formal, you know, with the lily, the hemerocallis in between the big hostas, and see how that works, you know. Oh, and the peonies were just glorious this year, but there's just a little bit left, nothing much, nothing to talk about. So we edited this bed out. I decided we're just going to do roses, and we moved some roses just as they were starting to bloom, which is not something that I am advocating. It's just something that had to be done, and we'll see what happens. You know, these are hard. I think they're going to be just fine.
Ooh, this is a lovely color.
Isn't that lush?
Yeah.
This will be interesting when it's just roses, because it's this formal rose border in a place where you would not expect it. you know?
Right along the stream
right
side.
along the stream side, and I think it's going to be just fine.
Yeah, very
and,
nice.
And moving plants just as they're going to bloom is not a good idea.
You know, you are somebody, a gardener that is not afraid to move plants around. And I'm like kind of the person where it's like, okay, I'll let that plant stay there, and very rarely will move it. But you are somebody who is very edited and not afraid to move, so I can respect that.
This one's just coming in, but you know, it's budding up.
Look at this interesting plant. It almost has like a maple-like leaf.
It is a variegated, and it has turquoise blue berries. Barbara.
Wow.
Turquoise blue berries, and this one has turquoise blue berries, so they're totally unrelated to each other. But of course, they stuck them together because they have
course.
turquoise blue berries.
Yeah. And turquoise is a very unusual color for
But,
a berry.
You know, nobody sees it but me, but I'm happy. I like it. If one has nothing else to do, one can remove very carefully the expended flower heads, but you have to do it really carefully so you don't break off anything new that's coming. And you can do that all day long, right? If you do that, the new growth comes in and it's nice and healthy.
Ooh, is this like a fulva, like an iris fulva? I love that color.
And of course, somebody needs to edit these out.
Yeah.
It's a big garden. And we're still planting, and so, you know,
Well, I thought I was going to be finished weeding by June 1st, and
Oh,
I was like,
really?
nah,
Did you?
I need at least 2 more days.
Oh, really? But what I find is you're never finished weeding.
No, you're never finished
all
weeding, but I try to get a good head start, and then it's more like maintenance weeding throughout the year.
The really sick part is I really love to weed.
You do?
I love it.
Okay.
I love fussing in the garden.
Right.
before.
Yeah.
You can come over and
Anytime you
Anytime.
want to come
I
to
do.
ours.
I love to weed.
She's got enough on her plate here.
But it is funny. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, I look at their bloom and their full heads off.
Absolutely.
And they're sort of a very pale yellow.
Yeah.
And when things bloom here, they bloom warm.
Well, thank you so much for a second tour. I hope everybody enjoys that. You know, people wanted to see this garden at different seasons. And of course, you are open to the public, so people could do self-guided tours here as well.
They can. And they can come on Saturday and hear me talk about the origin of the garden. And then they can get homemade cookies and iced tea and fruit, because I do that on Saturdays because I want it to feel good.
Yeah. Well, that's enough to probably get a lot of people interested, even just the cookies alone. So thank you so much, Barbara. This has just been exquisite. Love coming here as always, and love seeing how your garden changes over the course of seasons. And maybe we'll be back in March and April to see the spring ephemerals,
That
which
would be
sometimes
fun.
don't get enough love.
They don't get
in the
enough
garden.
love. They really don't.
Yeah.
They really don't.
Thank you. We'll be touring more gardens, and we'll also be back at Flock working in our own landscape and on our renovations. So be sure to tune in to this channel and help us grow by liking, subscribing, hitting the notifications button, and becoming a member. Additionally, if you'd like to join Sonder and myself on botanical tours around the world, then do check out our small group tours that we do to explore extraordinary gardens, wild landscapes, and the cultures that have shaped them. This November, we'll be in Japan, December, we'll be visiting Costa Rica, and in 2027, we'll be heading to Colombia and later to Vietnam. That information can be found on homesteadbrooklyn.com/botanical-tours, or see the link in the description below this video to check that out. We'll see you in the next video.